everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to talk about a quick tip to help you read large data files in Python. We all use Pandas read CSV function to read our data files in Python, and it's very common. But if your data file is very large, so many rows and columns, then it's time consuming. We have an alternative which can make the task faster than Pandas read CSV function. So for the purpose, I'm going to load a data file. So let's see how it works for a large data file. So I have set my working directory to the folder where I have saved my data in local machine. Now we need first of all Pandas to. Basically what we are doing is we are trying to load the same file by using Pandas, and we are trying to load the same file by using dask.dataframe, which we are going to discuss, and we will compare the time taken by both to read the same data file, right? So we need to import Pandas to read the data file using Pandas, and one more thing I'm importing is dask.dataframe. This will help us to import data faster. So dask.dataframe as dd, and also I'm importing time so that we can compare time taken by both the functions. First of all, let's just call time function so that we measure system time before we begin reading the data, and then I'm going to read the data using Pandas. So I'm giving it a name, data_pandas, and the function I'm using is Pandas read CSV function. Here I need to write the file name. So here is the file which I'm going to read. So let me just write the file name. You see, I have opened this file in Excel. So this file is quite large. I think around 50,000 rows there and so many columns too. So let's read it. We will see the shape also. So we have read it by Pandas, and let's again measure time. So it will basically measure system time once file reading is done. And now what we can do is we can compute the difference between time. So t1 minus t0 will give us the actual time taken by Pandas read CSV function to load the file, right? So let me give it a name, time Pandas is equal to. Basically it is t1 minus t0, but just we do some math to make it look pretty. So what I'm going to do is I will multiply it with 1000 and then I will round it up. So 1000, so that it looks pretty. I don't have those many decimals here, right? And let's just also print so that we have a nice print statement about the data size and the time taken by Pandas. So I'm writing a print statement for data size, and this is going to be data size. We can find out by using shape. So data Pandas is my data frame, and I'm calling shape. So this will give me size, and similarly we can write a print statement for time Pandas, time taken by Pandas to read the file, and this is given by time Pandas object which we have just created. So let's run this. It might take a little time. Oops. Maybe some spelling mistake. I need to check. Oh yeah, I forgot .csv. We keep on doing these silly mistakes. Yeah. And yeah, we see that data size is 49,548 rows for 115 columns. So it's news data file, and time taken by the file is 1787.7 when we have rounded off and multiplied by 1000. Now let's see the same thing when I using dask.dataframe. So I'm copy pasting the same code. I'll just change a few things in the code. So basically here I'm creating an object data underscore Dask, and I'm going to use the function readCSV now from the Dask.dataframe. So dd.readCSV, and it's very similar to Pandas readCSV function. That's why I can use the copy pasted code just by changing little bit here. Instead of PD, I'm using dd. And then I need to compute the time taken by Dask. So what I can do, I can create a new object time Dask, and again I will be taking differences of these moments t3 minus t2 and doing the same math. Data size, we don't need to print it again, so or maybe we just can. Time taken by Dask we can write here is given by time Dask, and let's print it and you will see the difference how fast it is. So it is just 38.87. So it depends upon your system's performance also, it depends upon data size also. But the point here to convey is, if you have large data files, sometimes we have files larger than this, millions of rows and columns there, then it becomes very handy to use Dask.dataframe. It actually speeds up our task for importing data. We have seen that to read a large data file using Dask is faster than Pandas. But you might be wondering, can you do all those things with Dask dataframe which you were doing with Pandas dataframe, or are there any limitations? So let me just quickly show you that there are some limitations of Dask dataframe because it uses parallel computing. So some of the operations which are there in Pandas might not work well in Dask. So let's quickly do some trivial tasks, and then we will see how we can handle these issues. So this is my Dask data frame, and let's just try to find out data types. So yeah, we are getting data types as we get in Pandas. But if we just try to use describe here, so describe, the Dask data frame structure here, but we are not seeing any entries here. So because Dask use lazy evaluation, it doesn't show you all those computation. If you want to see those computation, you need to use compute here. So this is the additional function which you need to use when you are working with Dask to look at the summary, and now you will be able to see the descriptive stats for all the variables. And let's quickly look at all other functions which we can do with Pandas. Then I'll be talking about can we convert a Dask data frame to Pandas, and when are the situations when we need to convert it. So let's try to find out columns. So these are column names, right? And let's look at subsetting also. So if I do subset the data frame just for one column, so as we do in Pandas, data frame dot column name, although I'll talk about it sometime later in another video, that it's not recommended we should use the square bracket subsetting. You see here that here also we are not getting the values in that column, and again if we use compute here, we will be able to see this column. And similarly, the another form of subsetting also work with Dask data frame. So let me just quickly show you that if you do this thing as you do with Pandas data frame, the square bracket subsetting, it will the same will work with Dask also. Only thing is that you need to use compute here. So whenever some function shows lazy evaluation, you can use compute and it will show you the evaluation. So this was for one column. Obviously you can do it for two columns by creating a list. So all these things which work for Pandas data frame, we are seeing how they work for Dask data frame. And maybe you can try to compute mean of a particular column, and you can see how it works, or whatever little computation you want to do. You see here it is not showing up the mean, but when we use compute, it shows up the mean of that column. So these are the things which you can do with Dask data frame. But sometimes some function doesn't work well, or sometimes you just want to use Pandas data frame, you just want to convert it to Pandas data frame. Because the functions which require like changing the order creates problem with Dask data frame, because Dask data frames are immutable and it's having distributed computing. So suppose changing the index, it's typical in Dask data frame. So sometimes we want to convert it to Pandas data frame. And how we can convert it to Pandas data frame? So we just convert it using the compute function. So I'm creating a new data frame named df, and this is my original Dask data frame, and now I'm using .compute. So when I use .compute, it basically converted to Pandas data frame. So now I have df, which is a Pandas data frame, and I can use all the function which we use generally for Pandas data frame. So .describe, spelling mistake, describe. It's working. So if you want to use Dask data frame for data manipulation, pre-processing like filtering, sorting, data transformation, if you have a large data set, these things you can do with Dask data frame. But later on, if you want to do some plotting, look at the descriptive summary, or for some tasks which are there in Pandas data frame, you can again switch it to Pandas data frame and you can work with that. Thank you for watching.